So here were some signs that I was a medium when I was a kid. I just didn't realize it, but now looking back, that's definitely what it was. And I wanted to share this because if you are currently working as a medium, or you're developing your mediumship, I would love to know if you relate to some of these things, or if you relate to some of these things, maybe you need to see if you're a medium. So let's get into it. So from a very, very early age, I was obsessed with ghosts, monsters, whatever. I literally created my own book about different ghosts and missions that I had to help them, their whole backstory, all the things. And it even got more involved as I got about 9 or 10. I even bought an EMF detector. And I became obsessed with this website, and I don't remember what it's called anymore, but it was basically just all paranormal footage, photos, live streams, stories, EVPs, anything you can think of. And I would just stare at this website for hours, to the point where it even got me in trouble because other kids would see it and they'd have nightmares, and I would be like, really into it and not having nightmares. So that was definitely a clear sign that there was just this real fascination with this whole world. There are also, looking back, several things that I wrote in my diaries that are very interesting. And I'll be sharing some of those in my stories because I talk about astral travel. I have some of these things where it's suddenly a very different way of writing. And it's talking about a brother of mine, different things like that are just really interesting, especially because my mom had a miscarriage before me that I didn't know about at the time of writing these things. And I now have always felt that it was a brother. So I just think there was something to that. Another funny thing was I remember for Halloween, I loved Halloween, but I never really wanted to be like cute and pretty. I always wanted to be dead. And I'll share some funny pictures of that. But it was like, oh yeah, I want to be like, I'm going to share a picture. Like I wanted to be like, like a girl from like Greece, right? But I want to be dead. And I want to be like a vampire with like blood all over me. So that was basically like always what I wanted to do. Which again, it was like this fascination with death. And another thing that I think is pretty cool is as a child, I would have these reoccurring dreams that were really, really vivid. I've always had vivid dreams my whole life, but I would have this reoccurring dream that I would be going to a abandoned kind of haunted looking house. I'd knock on the door and then it would be like all the classic kind of monsters. So like the Mummy, Frankenstein, Dracula, they would all answer the door for me. But I wouldn't be afraid. And they would kind of bring me in and take me to this smaller door that was down a hallway. And I would go in and it would basically be the spirit world. And it was like the most beautiful, amazing place ever. And I would just be beside myself, loving being there and seeing all of these beings there. And this happened a lot. I had this dream many, many times as a kid. And then lastly, I would definitely astral travel and go into these very deep meditative places as a kid. Not really realizing that that's what I was doing. But I even had like a spirit animal as a kid, and I would go and visit and hang out with it when I just felt like it, or if I was bored, whatever. And I would often visualize like past loved ones of mine in my mind, kind of in my room with me or hanging out by my window for some reason. But I would often have these very, very vivid and intense kind of journeys in somewhere, right? So that was definitely, again, it felt very natural and normal to me, but looking back now, it makes sense. So I would love to know if any of you relate to some of these things, or you have other stories of your own that kind of just were indications, that maybe there was something extra going on. And I'm going to share some pictures and things in my story so you can check those out.